Zimmerman, a wonderful writer of plays called The Arabian Nights. And of course, it takes a village often to put on a play, and I'm just so grateful for the help that I received for each play. And if you could hold your applause, I do want to single out some individuals that have really helped tremendously. Certainly our musicians in the back there, Gregory Guten and Jeremy Blake, will be performing the music. And we do have belly dancing. They go hand in hand with Middle Eastern music. And Señorita Esparza helped with the belly dancing. And oftentimes, or all the time so far, I encourage class sponsors to, it's up to them to take on a cameo role or a larger role. And this year, the class sponsor for the 10th grade, Matthew Burrett, kindly agreed to play a role in tonight's play. I want to thank Carol Pressman for her keen eye, for her theatrical experience, so much with putting this beautiful set together. Always a go-to person in this high school, Susanna Green, our receptionist. She does whatever needs to be done and does it quickly and well. I really want to thank her for that. And for filming, Mr. Brent Poole is always at the ready to film our wonderful play, and I want to thank him. And with that note, first of all, I don't want you please to take photos or pictures or film, because you will be able to see it, and it's a little bit distracting, as you know, to the actors. So could you please give everyone a big round of applause. Now this 10th grade, they worked so very, very hard to put on the play this evening, and I'm sure you will enjoy it. And could you also please give them a big round of applause.
Once there was a king called Shahryar, who one night found his wife in the arms of a slave. The world darkened for him, his soul grew sick, and he killed them both on the carpets of the bed. From then on, every night, he marries, loves, and kills a virgin girl. And as she dies, anything of him she might have inside also dies. And he will never be betrayed again.
Friend, trust not all the women, but smile at their promising, for they lower or they love at the caprice of their parts. Filled to the mouth with deceit, they lavish a lying love, while even the very fringe trimming of their silks is faithless. Mild love today soon will give way to madness. Say not, if one might love and escape the follies of loving, but rather, only a miracle brings a man safe from love.
This has gone on for 3 long years.
My lord Shahir.
Yes, whom have you brought for me tonight?
No one, my lord.
What?
All the people cry of one horror. They have taken their remaining daughters and fled to the desert. There is no one for this assault.
Have you no daughters, my noble vizier?
My lord, commander of the
Faithful servant, have you no daughters? 2, I believe. Dunya.
Dunyazad is only a child.
Dunyazad and Scheherazade. Two girls, who in the matters of brilliance, perfection, and grace are unmatched, except by each other.
It is true.
Bring me Scheherazade tonight, and tomorrow bring her shroud. And do not look so sad, for you are the father of a queen, if only for one night.
My father, why do you look so sad? Know, Father, that as the poet says, you who are sad will be comforted, for nothing endures. And just as every joy vanishes, so also vanishes every sorrow.
Heart of my heart, I cannot delay it any longer. You must marry our king and die, or let us leave everything we have and flee to the desert.
By Allah, I will marry this king. I am filled to the mouth with stories, and I have a plan by which I will save the daughters of the Muslims, and Dunyazad will help.
Heart of my heart, my daughter.
Father, this is written in my destiny. Now bring me my wedding clothes and sing me on my way.
Stop her now.
Dunyazad, don't cry. Allah alone knows forever.
I know.
Someday, Dunyazad, someday in the morning, or in the afternoon, or in the night, you will join me and we will be together again. Don't cry.
How will I ever sleep
Don't cry.
at night?
What is she going on about?
Nothing, my lord.
How will I ever sleep without your story?
Nothing at all.
I will never hear your stories again. I will never hear the tale of Al-Din, or the contest of generosity, or of how the madman got rid of his wife. I will never hear the tale of the dream, or the forgotten melody, or of
What's this?
Oh, sister, your words are so sweet and gentle and pleasant to the taste.
Have mercy. She's just a little
Sleep
child.
without your stories.
I never sleep.
Oh, sister, tell us one of your tales of marvel. Tell it now.
Gladly. And as a duty, if the great and courteous king permits.
It is permitted.
Have you heard, O auspicious king, of the great and glorious Harun al-Rashid, Khalifa of Baghdad, a most wise and generous ruler?
Harun al-Rashid? Of course. What do you think?
Yes, well,
Have I heard of Harun al-Rashid? Is that all you have to say to me?
it is related that one night Harun al-Rashid felt himself weighed down by a heavy depression.
Brother and Wazir, my heart is heavy.
O King of Time, all joy and sorrow come from within, but sometimes outside shows may have an influence upon these humors. Have you made trial of any outside shows today?
I have taken it with my fingers and let fall all the jewels of my treasure, the rubies, the emeralds, and the sapphires, but not one of them lifted my soul to happiness. I have been to my harem and passed in review the light and the dark, the copper-colored and the brown, but none of them lifted my soul to happiness. I have been to my stables, but not one of my countless horses could amuse me, and the veil of the world has not lifted.
What do you say a visit to the madhouse? To my way of thinking, the mad have a more subtle understanding than the sane. differences and affinities which are hidden from common men and are often visited by strange visions.
As Allah lives, said Harun al-Rashid, let us go at once. They left the palace and made their way to the madhouse.
My lord, we've had a general shortage of fresh lunatics lately. I attribute this to a deterioration of intellect in all of Allah's creatures. I am pleased to say that I can show you one madman, although I confess he doesn't seem so mad to me.
Have you been shut away here for madness?
As Allah lives, I'm neither raving mad nor melancholy mad. I'm neither an idiot nor a normally stupid person. But my adventures have been so singular that were they written with a needle in the corner of my eye, still they would serve as a lesson to the circumspect.
Our ears are open, and you have all our attention.
I am a merchant, and the son of a merchant. Before I was thrown into this place, I had a shop in the market, selling bracelets and other costly ornaments for women. This story begins when I was only 16 years old, and already had a reputation for seriousness, honesty, and chastity. I knew the proper place for women and the proper place for men. Merchants held me up as an example to their sons. I practiced the precepts of the book and never lifted my eyes to any daughter of the faith. One day, as I sat reading my account book,
Is this the shop of the noble so-and-so?
it is,
And are you he?
I am.
I have something for you.
Well,
It comes from my mistress, and
you may approach me. Surely you know the reputation of my honor.
it comes from my mistress, and she waits favor of an answer.
Love has filled my soul with wine and gold, the black scorpions of your hair. Come with me to the path, beloved, and I will. What is this?
It's an oath.
A what?
An oath for you. It's from my mistress.
Who is this harlot who writes to me?
She waits favor of an answer.
Carry this back to her. Carry this back to her, daughter of a thousand. This happened, my lords, when I was only 16 years old. And I only tell it as an example of my virtue and purity at the time. And not to put Shaban with Ramadan, but the months and years passed and I became a man. I began to think that it was time for me to marry in the sight of Allah. And I did marry. As Allah lives, I did so. One afternoon, as I sat reading my account book, I heard a commotion in the street and looked up to see a remarkable face.
Young man, have you a choice of silver and gold ornaments?
Yes, mistress, I do.
Well, show me some ankle rings, if you will. Try them for me, please.
Mistress, surely none of these will ever fit your ankle.
Do not trouble yourself about them, young man. I will ask you for something else. Tell me, is it true, as they say at home, that I have an elephant's legs?
The name of Allah be upon you, and upon the perfection of your ankles. Gazelles would die of jealousy at the sight of them.
Oh, I thought they were quite otherwise. Now, show me some bracelets. I'm weary. Try them for me, please. What have you seen, young man? I am veined and web-fingered, am I not? With arms like a hippopotamus, have I not?
The name of Allah be upon you, and upon those white curves, and upon that child's wrist. My smallest bracelets, made for children, would gape outrageously above each slim transparency.
Then, were they not right? Now, perhaps you could show me some gold necklaces and breastplates.
Cover them, Allah, veil them!
What? Will you not help me to try on the gold necklaces and breastplates? Oh, it doesn't matter. I will ask you for something else. I am rough and hairy, am I not? With breasts like a buffalo cow. Or is the other rumor correct, that I'm all bone and dry, like a saltfish, and as flat as a carpenter's bench?
The name of Allah be upon you, shadow. For a waist which would fill the heart of a scribe with despair when he is making the letter S. For a heart which would wither the branch of a ban tree from sheer spite. For a waist which would shame the pride of a young peacock. For a waist which would burn a bamboo stem.
You surprise me, young man. They have never been very complimentary about my waist at home.
Now, perhaps you could show me some earrings and a gold frontlet for my hair?
Young man, I see you are struck dumb by my ugliness. My own father, when he was born, took one look at me and ordered every mirror hidden from me for pity. And so I've been spared. I've never seen myself, but I know from many repetitions that my face is a hideous thing. A parchment pitted with smallpox, a blind right eye and a bleared left, with a stinking mouth full of broken teeth and a pair of cropped ears. They say my skin is scabby, my hair is broken and frayed, and the invisible horrors of my interior are not to be named.
The name of Allah be upon you, and upon your great beauty, visible and invisible.
Then you do not find me a horror?
By Allah, no!
You would not deceive me.
Never!
Then why does my father hate me so? For it is he who attributes all of these horrors to my appearance, and all of my life I have lived as he has named me. Horrible, unwanted, and unloved. I am glad you seem not to think so. But alas, my father so hates the sight of me that he is ready to sell me to a merchant of slaves.
Who's your father?
The Sheikh al-Islam in person.
Rather than sell you, would he not let me marry you?
I thank you for your offer, young man. It is a great kindness, but you do not know what you are saying. My father is a scrupulous man, and as he thinks his daughter a repulsive monster, he would not willingly wed her to such a one as you.
There must be someone.
Listen, you may do worse than to try to gain his consent. I do not wish to be sold. Tomorrow, go before my holy father, and after exchanging pleasant greetings about the hotness and dryness of the day, ask him for my hand in marriage. He is certain to say, "May Allah preserve your youth, my son, but my daughter is a creature altogether helpless. There is nothing to be done for her. She is crooked and hideous. But you must cry out, 'I am content!
I am content!'"
He will go on. "I thank you for that, my son, but my daughter is not for any strong and handsome youth. But you must cry out.
I am content.
You force me to the pain of plain speech. If you were to marry my daughter, you would be wedding the most terrible monster of our time.
I am content.
She is my poor boy. You don't understand. She's blind in one eye. Her ears are cropped. She's lame and stinking. A dribbler. A pisser.
I am content.
She is disgusting and vicious. Snot-nosed and forever farting.
I am content.
She is bearded and flat-bellied, short of an arm and has a club foot. Her left eye has a film over it. Her nose is a mass of oily pimples. Her face, one sieve of smallpox. Her mouth, a cesspit. Her teeth a wreck. Her internal organs, one mutilation. She is bald and incredibly scabby. A horror, an abomination of desolation.
Please, spare yourself the task of description, for I will go on soliciting your daughter, no matter what you find to say of her. I have a taste for horrors, my lord, especially when they are that afflict your honorable daughter. I can only repeat, I am content, content, content!
If you are determined to persist in this madness, I will give you my slow consent. But you must sign a contract before witnesses that you will accept your bride with all her flaws. And if you dare divorce her, you will pay a ransom of 20,000 gold dinars.
I agreed to these conditions, and would have agreed to 1,000 more. How is it that an obscure merchant such as myself could have won such happiness? Is it really true that I am to rejoice and take my ease with all that beauty? There was no ceremony, no wedding feast, but I could not have been happier. as I was counting down the moments until I could see my perfect bride in all her glory. At the first still moment, I made myself ready and went bounding to my bride's bed. Oh, horror of horrors! May you never see such a sight! I saw the most deformed, the most disgusting, the most repulsive, the most grotesque creature of a nightmare. She was even worse than the description which that lovely and wicked girl had given her. She was a monster, an abomination of desolation, a rag so full of horror that I should retch if I described her even now. And I had willingly, eagerly, madly married her. The next morning, I fled that sorrowful place back to my shop, but no sooner was I there than I saw that maiden of love made perfect, that vision of desire, come smiling towards me amidst her sleep.
You're stopping now?
It is dawn, my lord.
Oh, sister, if the king kills you now, he will not hear how the madman got rid of his wife.
Perhaps if I were to live another day, but I see my father is waiting with my shroud.
By Allah, you may wait another day.
May I not speak to him?
No.
The king departed to sit in judgment, raising some to office and lowering others, until the fall of day. But when the second night had come, she said,
And standing by the door of the shop, the woman said,
May today be a day of benediction, O bridegroom. May Allah put a crown upon your happiness. May joy abide with you. May joy abide with you and your new wife.
You cauldron of pitch, you wicked girl, you bowl of tar, you are not the daughter of Sheikh al-Islam.
No more than you.
May Allah curse the hour of our meeting. May he damn the blackness of your foul soul. Why have you tricked me and destroyed my life?
Do you not remember? Sounding brass? The ode I wrote and sent to you so many years ago. And your great virtue, my poor little slave.
What? Please, don't go. In truth, I repent.
Too late.
I see clearly now how gross and foolish was my conduct towards you and your little slave. How vulgar and hypocritical. How full of stupid vanity and...
Unfounded pride.
Please, mistress, it was so many years ago. Forgive me this once, please.
I will pardon you. This once. But you must promise never to do the like again.
Oh, mistress, I kneel in your protection and look for deliverance at your hand.
I have thought of this. And since it was I who caught you, it is only right that I should set you free.
But how? I've signed a contract.
Listen, and you will soon be rid of that unfortunate girl. Tomorrow, go before the foot of the citadel and gather together all of the quacks, idiots, dancers, rope walkers, tambourines, cymbals, clarinets, and clarinet that you find there. And then you must go back to the house of the Sheikh al-Islam and... You know, I never expected that my daughter would find such happiness.
Well, she is happiness itself.
Yes, well, her mother was frightened by a fire and she was delivered a little before her time.
She was delivered in perfect time for me.
Well, I really must say, I never expected. Did you hear something?
No.
Well, as I was saying,
Greetings, Sheikh al-Islam. May Allah's blessings be upon you. In the name of all humanity, I wish you prosperity.
who are these people?
Oh, cousin, know that we will never, ever disappear.
Do you know these people?
And as you have made this your new home,
not remain in the home of one who does not love my family. In front of witnesses, I put away your daughter. I put her away once, twice, 3 times.
And thus an end to this unfortunate business. Shall we come together now, dear master?
At your house or in my shop?
Poor boy, do you not know that a woman has many, many preparations before such things can be? We'll go to my house.
And if in love we burn it to the ground, there is still the vast chamber of my heart.
Oh, your compliments have improved in quality over the years.
Let's go. I feel the wasted days clamor within me.
Before the fight, oh soldier, let me hear if you know the name of your antagonist.
You're stopping now?
It is dawn, my lord. My father has returned with my shroud.
You may wait another day. Tonight you finish the story. Tomorrow you die.
The king departed to sit in judgment, raising some to office and lowering others, until the fall of day. But when the third night had come, she said,
Before the fight, O soldier,
let me hear if you know the name of your antagonist.
River of Grace?
No,
Whitefeather.
no.
life and love lived love and life together for 30 days and nights, my lord,
Until a giddiness came over me, and I dared to say, Oh, my saint, I cannot do it again today.
But the 12th time is the most important. The first 11 don't even count.
Yet, it is impossible. Impossible.
And you must have rest, my sweet. You must have rest.
When I heard that, I fainted clear away, and woke up chained to the wall of this madhouse. When I awoke, I asked the chief of keys, Why am I here?
You must have rest. The lady said.
You must have rest.
Young man, even if you had been chained here for madness, I would have freed you for the sake of this story. Young lady, I know the troubles that were between you in the past, but I take it upon myself that such a thing will never happen again. The lad is well rested and ready for anything.
I hear and I obey. I am ready to live with him again.
You have lifted a great weight from my heart, and for that I thank you.
They lived together in all delight, the practice of every virtue, knowing days each more admirable than the last, and the nights whiter than the days, until they were visited by the destroyer of joy, the separator of friends, and died.
By Allah, I will remember that story.
My king, it is early yet.
What of it?
Let me make the darkness gentle for you. There will be time to kill me with the dawn.
Tell me, do you know any more moral anecdotes?
Moral anecdotes? Oh, auspicious king, are the tales which I know best. I could tell you 1 or 2 from the perfumed garden.
Then begin at once, for a great weariness rests upon my shoulders tonight, and I know not of the safety of your head on your shoulders.
Listen then, these tales are very moral, and some might seem licentious or lewd to those of narrow or gross minds.
Do not let that stop you. However, if you feel that these stories may be unfit for the young ones, send them away at once.
I think she should be allowed to stay, for to the pure and clean, all things are pure and clean, and there is no shame in speaking of those things which lie below our waists.
Begin at once.
It is related that a certain jester lived at the court of Harun al-Rashid.
So the camel said to the merchant, with prices like these, you won't be getting many more.
You are a bachelor, are you not?
Yes.
Well, I have conceived a keen
Don't say it.
desire
No,
to
no.
see you married.
King of time, I pray you, spare me this felicity. I am a bachelor through fear of the sex. I have abstained so that I may never happen upon some debauched, adulterous woman. Please, I pray you, think upon all my flaws and all the ignoble qualities of my life, and as punishment for them, spare me this blessing of matrimony.
Well, I can't help your feelings. Today you must be married.
It's just that
Today!
All right.
For half a year, or maybe 7 months, the jester lived at peace with his new bride, a gentle and modest seeming girl. But after that there happened which was fated to happen, for no man can escape his destiny.
I've been invited to go to the gardens this afternoon to take the good air with my friends.
Oh
If you need me for anything, you will know where to send.
no! No one will want you to do anything but enjoy yourself. delight in the gardens, it will be an equal delight for me.
Farewell.
Farewell, my sweet.
Farewell.
Farewell, my love.
Farewell.
Praise Allah. I've gotten rid of that wild pig for one afternoon. Now I can send to my heart's delight. Who can that be? Not that dog who has me back again, I hope. Oh, my pastry cook.
Oh, my tart.
You're early.
I am. But when I prepared my bread, rolled it and leavened it, and stuffed it with almonds and pistachios, I noticed I was still too early for customers to be dropping by. So I said to myself, shake the flour from your clothes, my friend, and go rejoice a little with your sweet. Oh, no, it's rising! No, it's rising! What can that be?
I don't know. Go and hide in the tree while I see. Oh, my greengrocer. You are earlier than usual.
But as I was returning from my kitchen garden this morning, I thought, you'd better take your fresh vegetables, your heroic cucumber, your exceptional pumpkin, and your embarrassing butternut to your sweet, for they will rejoice her. Reap and sow. Who's there?
I don't know. Go and hide in the privy while I see.
Why are you here?
I've been doing what you've been doing.
My sweet sister.
My sweet me.
You are earlier than usual.
When I finished slaughtering all my lambs for the day, I thought you better take your sweet this sheepskin. It'll make a soft carpet for your head. Bleat for me.
Who's that? I don't know. Take your sheepskin and hide in the privy. Oh, my clarinetist. You were earlier than usual.
Well, when I went to my rehearsal today, none of the other players had come. So I determined to wait in the home of my sweet. Now come here, my little piccolo. He seems to be a little bit flat today. Just a little bit flat. Shall we moisten our reeds? Who's that?
Praise Allah. Perhaps it is my husband. Take your clarinet and hide in the privy.
Peace be with you, friends. What are you all doing in this singular apartment?
Peace be with you, friend. Same thing as yourself. Make me an infusion of anise and fennel, good wife. Things are moving, things are moving. I couldn't wait in the garden any longer. I had to come relieve my...
At once, Majester realized the nature of his predicament. But what if these four lovers should turn on him and try to kill him to hide their crime? He decided to try a trick.
Oh, sacred messengers of Allah. I know you. I recognize you well. You, who are white and flowery, might be mistaken as a pastry cook by the profane, but you are without a doubt the holy patriarch Job, the ulcerous, and you with the box of excellent vegetables. Clearly, you are the great Kadir who guards each orchard, who clothes each tree with green dino, and you with the lion's skin. Clearly are Cleopatra, queen of the Nile, and you, O saint, with the glorious horn. You must be Israfil, who shall summon us on our last day.
You are not mistaken, oh man. We are even as you have named us, and I wish to come to your house through your privy and reward you for your advantages.
We can find no other chamber open to the sky.
Since you have done me the honor of this visit, O illustrious saints, will you not grant me one wish? Speak, speak. Come with me to the house of Harun al-Rashid. He will be greatly obliged when I introduce four such famous persons to him.
We shall grant you that particular taste.
O Lord, allow me to introduce four sacred persons. The patriarch Job, our Lord Kadir, Cleopatra, queen of the Nile, and Israfil, who shall announce last judgment. I found them in my privy, my lord, and I owe the honor of their blessing to the saintly qualities of my wife, whom you have so generously given to me.
Have you gone mad or are you trying to kill me?
I only tell you what I have seen.
Do you not see that the prophet Job is a pastry cook? The prophet Kadir, a greengrocer. And the queen of the Nile is a butcher. The angel Israfil is my first clarinet, the master of my music.
I only tell you what I have seen.
Sons and daughters of 1,000 shameless horns, tell me the truth. You are the lovers of that wife of his.
poor man lay down to sleep. While some in the city had fine carpets and fine palaces and fine pillows for their head, he had only the cold gray stone floor. In his little hut, at the end of the street, a cobblestone street lined with palm trees, in a courtyard containing a dry and cracked little fountain, with designs of birds upon it. In our sleep, we are all equal, and in our sleep, we may speak to God and hear our destinies revealed. This night, the poor man lay down with a heavy heart, and a man came to him in a dream.
My poor man, know that your fortune lies far away in Cairo. Go and seek it there. Your fortune lies far away in Cairo. Go and seek it there.
The very next morning, the poor man set off for Cairo, and after many weeks and much hardship, he arrived at that city.
Night fell. He could not afford to stay at an inn, so he lay down to sleep in the courtyard of a mosque. That night, robbers entered the mosque, and from there broke into an adjoining house. Awakened by the noise, the owners raised the alarm and called for help.
The police arrived, found the poor man from Baghdad, beat him, and threw him to jail.
3 days later, the chief of police ordered his men to bring the poor man before him.
Where do you come from?
I come from Baghdad.
And what brought you to Cairo?
A man came to me in a dream saying,
My poor man, your fortune lies far away in Cairo. Go and seek it there.
But when I arrived in Cairo, the fortune I was promised proved to be the beating your men so generously gave me.
What a fool to believe in dreams. Know this, I too have heard a voice in my sleep. Not just once, but 3 times. It said, go to Baghdad and find a little hut at the end of a cobbled street lined with palm trees, and a gray stone courtyard containing a dry and cracked little fountain with a design of birds upon it. Under that little fountain, a great sum of money lies buried. Go there and dig it up. But did I go? Of course not. Yet fool that you are, you have come all the way to Cairo on the strength of one idle dream. Here, take this. It will help you on your way back to your own country.
The poor man recognized at once that the house and the garden described in the chief of police's dream were his own. He took the money and set out promptly for a homeward journey.
Go on back to Baghdad, city of peace and poets. Your fortune is in the garden of your home.
As soon as the poor man reached his house, he went into the garden, dug beneath the fountain, and uncovered a great treasure.
Your fortune is in the garden of your home.
And thus the words of the dream were wonderfully fulfilled.
Your fortune is in the garden of your home, and speaks to you in dreams.
That was an excellent tale indeed, pastry cook, if it is true. But whether it is true or not, I do pardon you.
At that, the butcher came forward, kissed the ground, and said, O most excellent king, grant me to say
she said.
As the poet says, when you pass on by my tent door, I said goodbye to all the world, forgetting how to love forevermore when you passed on. If you come back the way you went, I pray you take my body up and set it in a calm grave near your tent when you come back. If your dear voice recalls the tones, the sweetness of the way you said my name, and kneel down, dear love, and say the same. I'll answer with the clicking of my bones. Farewell.
Farewell, cheeks of surface silver, golden wrists with copper bangles, lake hair lined in black angels, dreams of pictures in a book of sleep, and no more mine, and no more mine forever.
Surely my new bride weeps as young girls do, because she misses her mother. Happily, this was not last long, and a kind word will cure her. O light of my soul, why do you destroy the beauty of your eyes so? If you cry for your mother, tell me so, and I will take her to you at once. If you cry for your father, or your sister, or your nurse, or some pet animal such as a cat, a rooster, or a gazelle, tell me, and I will fetch them to you at once. Then I know it why it is you cry. Is it the house itself for which you weep? The house in which you were young? I'll take you back there at once.
I do not weep for my father, my mother, my sisters, my nurse, or my pets. And I beg you not to insist that I tell you the reason or past.
Fairest girl on earth, then I know why it is that you weep. You weep because I am repugnant to you.
No, by Allah, I have no aversion to you. It's something else.
What then?
My grief and tears are for a dear one of my house, a cousin who loves me and whom I love. Oh, master, love's roots are in the heart, and when love is torn away, the heart is torn away also.
The sheik lowered his head and reflected for an hour.
Dear mistress, the law of Allah and His Prophet, upon thee prayer and peace, forbids one believer to snatch even a mouthful from another by force. How then could I snatch away your heart? Rise up, my bride of a minute, and go with my full consent to your cousin, and return here in the morning before the slaves are awake. From now on, this is how we shall live. You are as my daughter.
A blessing be upon you.
She had only gone walking in the night and glowing in her jewels and all of her happiness. She had only gone 20 paces when...
By Allah, my lucky night. Nothing for 6 weeks, and now a wedding guest and all of her jewels. Give me all your jewels, or I'll smash you to the earth. As Allah lives, you are the richest jewel of all. I'll have you whole. Dear mistress, I will do you no harm if you are complacent, and I can promise you a most blessed night if you come with me.
Oh, no.
I will neither harm you nor rob you if you give yourself to me freely. But you must stop by crying.
Just when everything was going so well. Just when everything was going so well. I was going to the home of the one I love.
Whose wedding were you at?
My own. My parents were forced to marry me to a sheikh that I've never seen. But I love my cousin since infancy. When I explained this to the sheikh, the man let me go.
He let you go.
Yes, and he told me to return to his house as his daughter.
He did that.
Yes,
He let you go, just like that.
yes. But now I have fallen into your hands, and a thief is not like a sheikh. Do with me as you will.
Where does he live, this cousin who you love?
In a room, in a garden, in such a house, on such a street.
Dear mistress, no one shall ever accuse a man of my profession of interfering with the course of true love. Now, I will lead you to the house of your cousin, for you might fall into some vile thieves if you were to go alone. The wind is for all, the flute is for one, and that one is not I.
only one thing we can do. I must return you to the same, untouched.
What?
In the face of virtue, what else can we do?
My children, do not tell me why you are here. I have already guessed. But you must know this. When a believer has claimed his wife to be of his own flesh and blood, no power can give or lie to his words. I am in bondage to my oath. I owe you nothing.
So saying, the good man gave all of his goods and his house to the two of them, and went to live in another city.
Now, Prince of Time, let us stop and consider, who is the most generous of the three? The lover, the thief, or the husband?
They're all idiots.
Then we'll judge for ourselves. Was it the lover, the thief, or was it the husband?
That was an edifying tale indeed. I pardon you, butcher.
With that, the greengrocer came forward, kissed the ground, and said,
No
"No disrespect to my colleagues, the pastry cook and the butcher, but I too have a tale concerning a Kurd and a Persian that may delight your honorable majesty." It is permitted, and the greengrocer began the tale of the wonderful bag.
One day, in the marketplace of Baghdad, someone let fall a little bag and walked on without noticing.
What are you doing trying to make off with this bag as though it belonged to you ever since you were born? Oh, Muslim, save my goods from this wretched unbeliever who's trying to make off with my bag. My bag is known and well known. It is universally acknowledged to be my bag.
Hold on there. Who is the plaintiff and who is the defendant?
Allah increase the power of our Qadi and judge. I lost this bag yesterday, and I could not sleep with thinking for it.
When did you lose it?
Yesterday, and I could not sleep with thinking of it. May Allah increase the power of the Qadi. I lost this bag 2 weeks ago and could not sleep for thinking of it since.
The truth can be uncovered soon enough. Whoever is the true owner of the bag shall best be able to describe its contents. Each of you will give a list, and whoever's list is closest to a true inventory of its contents shall own the bag and everything in it.
Oh, Qadi! In this bag, Qadi, there is a bee and his entire hive. And every once in a while, they come out from the hive and collect honey from the flowers, which are in the bag, of course. They collect honey from the flowers. Well, these are honey flowers, you see. It saves them a lot of time and work. And they collect the honey from the flowers, and they go back to the hive and they sit there. Now, aside from the bees and the flowers, there is a rooster. Now, this is no ordinary rooster, because this rooster is a hen. It is a hermaphrodite, if I may say so myself. Now, aside from the rooster, there is a monkey on the unicycle. Okay, you just see this monkey here on this unicycle. And the monkey and the bees and the flowers, which are in the bag, we're all going to swear that that bag is my bag. Oh, God! Let me just start off by saying that the colors of your toenails is marvelous, dear. In this bag, which is my bag, there's a pine cone. And on this pine cone is one bee, not a hive of bees. And this pine cone can be thrown up into the air. And as it comes down, it turns into a winged bird, which flies about in the bag, in a room, which is in the bag. And also in this room are many other birds that turn into pine cones. And surrounding this room is another room. It is like inception of rooms. And in this other room, there are squirrels. And these squirrels eat the pine cones, sometimes. But when they don't, they eat nuts, which are gathered from outside of the inception rooms and brought back into the inception rooms. And my wife plants the nuts around the inception rooms, which is in the bag. And my wife, and the squirrels, and the pine cone birds are all willing to swear that that bag is my bag.
Oh, this man has clearly lost every marble that he has. In this bag, Cuddy, and may I say that your turban matches your eyes so elegantly. In this bag, Cuddy, aside from my aforementioned things I have said, there is my estate, and all my fields, and all my servants are in that bag. Now, in my estate, there's a little room. In that little room, there's a little hole. And in that little hole, there lives a family of scorpions. Now, this is no ordinary family of scorpions. One of them is afflicted. One of them has 4th degree scorpionitis. And they're on their last supply of rice, or whatever it is that scorpions eat. And they cannot work because they're afflicted. And it brings tears to my eyes, thinking, this man is baking my scorpions. And nothing can bring light to my world now, except for my monkey, my wife, and my estate, which are in the bag, and all willing to swear that that bag is my bag.
Oh! Oh God, oh God! Let me just start off by saying that scorpions do not eat rice. I don't know what it is they eat, but they don't eat rice. In my bag, there is a very playful and elegant shroud. This shroud is playful because it can be used to wipe one's mouth after eating, and to wipe one's... It can also be used to pick up scorpions because it is impenetrable. Also in this bag, there's a loom. Now my wife sits at this loom when she is not planting the acorns for the squirrels in the inception house. And my son gathers loom materials for her every day, which is from the forest, which is outside of my house, which is in the back, of course. Also, outside of my house, there is a huge hawk, which flies about and picks up and guards my house. And I swear, I do not have my hawk, and my house, and my wife. I don't know. I'll do something crazy, I swear. The hawk, and the house, and my wife are all willing to swear that that bag's my bag.
As Allah lives, either you two are rascals, mocking at the law,